Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Sunday Inspiration, another Sunday Inspiration. I expect it's going to be a great message today. I want to shout out everybody who's been supporting the Tay and Two Show, as well as the Dream Empire Network page, as well as the Dominique B. Inspires page, as well as the Donte Felip Impacts page. We appreciate every person that shares our videos, tunes in, and is paying attention to what we're doing. Again, I always reiterate and say, how important it is for us to touch the community and to empower our communities and the families within them. So, we're not going anywhere. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to drop these inspirational messages and create platforms that allow people to be exposed, or great people that are doing great things in the community to have exposure, and also to have a platform where people can receive encouragement and inspiration and motivation on a weekly basis, because we all could use just a word of encouragement sometime, something just to get us over where we are in our journey of life. So yeah, I'm super excited. Also, everybody who's been tuning in and sharing the videos for Love Lounge on Wednesdays, in my opinion, there have been some powerful messages on there. Last week, the message was broken but not destroyed. In my opinion, that is a powerful message, and especially and specifically when dealing with your preparation for love and your preparation. If you believe that you are, purposed to be in relationship and to build a family, of course, it all starts with us. So, some powerful messages on there. The first two messages on Love Lounge was the Power of the Woman, Part 1 and Part 2. If you're a woman, you got to go listen to that message. You have to go listen. I'm also on YouTube as well. So for some reason, someone wants to see a message and they're not able to, and actually I'm on YouTube even now on the Donte Felip Impacts page. So you could always go to YouTube. I'm simultaneously on YouTube at the same time that I'm on Facebook Live. So y'all definitely take advantage of that. I don't want to keep y'all long, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this message. Today's message is called The Setup. Today's message is called The Setup. Powerful message, because so many times, I believe that there are people, that those of us that are going through circumstances in our life or have come through circumstances that just absolutely seem unfair. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense, while we going through it, and then sometimes even after we've gone through it, we don't understand why did I go through this? What was this for? You know what I'm saying? But today I want to give you some insight about those type of circumstances. Hence the setup. The setup, in other words, when someone, or when you're feeling like you're being negatively set up, set up to fail, set up not to make it, set up not, it always seems like there's, in specific circumstances, there's something that is acting as an antagonist against your purpose or your desires. So we're going to talk about that. Very, very powerful message. So listen, real quick, there's a movie called Born Identity. Stars Matt Damon. And in part one, it's about 4 or 5 of these movies now. Part one, that's the only one I'm really going to talk about. In part one, the story starts off with Matt Damon, who is an assassin, right? Matt Damon is an assassin, and he's sent on a specific mission to go and to assassinate a government official of I believe it's an African country. It could have been European, but I believe it's African country. And when he goes to complete his mission, he sees that the government official has his children with him. And, he just couldn't bring him, or he actually hesitated. He hesitated to assassinate the guy because of the children. And due to that, the government official ends up shooting him, and he ends up shot. And after he's shot, he didn't die, but he's unconscious. He's floating in the ocean, and he's found by some fishermen. But when he's found, of course, the fishermen, help him out and lay him on a bed in the boat. But when he finally wakes up, he doesn't know who he is. Right? He doesn't know who he is. And so all of a sudden, in that in a blink of an eye, Matt Damon's character, right? Matt Damon's character in the movie Born Identity ends up in a position in his life where his mission changes from one circumstance. He went from knowing exactly who he was and what his mission was to not knowing who he was and having to rediscover himself and discover his mission. The reason why I use this movie as a metaphor in this message today, because I want to speak directly to the fact and the issue that there are many of us that are dealing with supervisors that are trying to set us up for failure. We're dealing with, some of us are dealing with relationships, whether it's in our family, whether it's somebody we've dated in the past, whether it's a parent, that just didn't do, the best that they could have for us. Whatever the circumstances, there's a situation or the circumstance in our life that just seems like it just absolutely put us at a disadvantage when it comes down to us living a happy life and living a fulfilled life. But let me submit something to you. There's something I want you to think about when this story. Sometimes God uses circumstances like this to disconnect you from your comfort zone. Sometimes the things that seem like superpowers for 10 or 15 years all of a sudden become your weakness, your kryptonite. And because you know it so well, right? Because you know that thing, because you know that gift, whatever your gift is, you're a musician, whatever it is, you're a writer, whatever it is, whatever your gift is, you're good with people, whatever it is, or you know how to, you've had good relationships, you're good with building relationships with people, whatever it is. Sometimes God has to put us in circumstances or allow circumstances in our life to disconnect us from the thing we've been depending on and leaning on for so long. In this case, Matt Damon knows who he is. He's an assassin for the U.S. government in this movie, Born Identity. He's on a mission. He has to get rid of, according to his mission, he has to go and assassinate a government official of an African country. But when he gets there to complete the mission, he meets an obstacle that he never thought he would meet. Causes him to be in a position where he has to question, or literally questions, because he ends up shot unconscious, wakes up and has no idea who he is. Sometimes God has to get us into a position where we don't know who we are anymore, just so he can reset us. The universe is trying to reset us. Why? Because who you've been for the last 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, you can't take that person with you into where you're going. You're not going to forget. You may not forget who that person was, but there are relationships that person got into. There are friendships that person had. There are circumstances, there are decisions that person made. That, yes, is a learning curve, but you cannot take that individual into the level of greatness you're about to go into, because that individual will sabotage your mission and your purpose and your vision. You've got to now come to a place of transformation. The universe, God is trying to get you. The reason why that antagonist is in your life, whether it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend that just did not love you the way you should have, whether it's a parent or a family member, or aunt or uncle that did not love you like you were supposed to be loved, that did not support you like you should have been supported. I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to confirm for you, that is an orchestrated, designed circumstance. Yes, it hurts. It's painful. And I would submit to you even and suggest to you that in some circumstances that pain will never go away, because that pain is what is fueling you to become who you are. That chip on your shoulder, that thing that is causing you to say, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. Without that antagonist in your life, you won't push hard. Some of you cannot be in a relationship right now, or maybe not a relationship, but some of you can't be married at this moment because you get into a position of comfort. You get too comfortable. Some of you can't get the dream job you want because you're destined your purpose to have a dream business. You purpose to be the corporation. Your purpose to be the CEO. Your purpose, whatever it is, your purpose to be that. But if you are in the situation or circumstance that causes you to feel comfortable, one of the greatest phrases I ever heard is comfort of progress. Many a times, so many of us need the antagonist in order to be the antagonist to become the catalyst to push us into our future and to push us into our greatness. People with the greatest success started off with the most grueling circumstances in the beginning of their life many times. It's just real. We can go down the line, whether you're talking about Kevin Hart, whether you're talking about Tyler Perry, whether you're talking about Jay-Z, whether you're talking about Oprah. That everybody we know, that many people that we know that just are in a position of mega success started off with the most unfair circumstances. I'm here to tell you that those circumstances are not here to destroy you. Those circumstances are here to push you into a level of greatness that you've never reached before. There is an aspect of you, there is a dimension of you that you're not aware of yet. God is trying to get you to connect with or to reveal. God is trying to reveal a part of you, an aspect of you that you've never seen before. But in order for that to happen, he has to disconnect you from what you already know. Matt Damon showed up to that mission knowing he was an assassin and knowing that he was contracted to assassinate that individual. But at the moment that he hesitated, it opened up the opportunity for him to discover an aspect of himself that he had never discovered before. All of a sudden now, he did not want to be who he used to be. Once he found out who he was and what he was, he started to discover the authenticity, the essence of who he really was, which gave him a new life mission. You've been holding on to the successes that you've had already for too long. Yeah, I know you was the man in high school. I know you was the man in college. I know you was the man. I know you was the man on your sports team. I know you was the best. I know you was the best on your cheerleading team. I know you was the best in whatever it is you used to do. I know you was the bomb at that. Everybody knew you for that. But now God is trying to bring you into a place that you never even dreamed of. That means you've got to disconnect from what you know in order to connect to where you're going. I give you one more little small story and I'm going to let y'all go. Listen, there's a biblical, I like to use biblical stories for reference points. Listen to this real quick. There's a character in the Bible, his name was Paul. Right, Paul was a educated, a very successful man, and he helped the Roman government to terrorize back then what was, I guess you can call, the Christian community back then. Right, he has this experience, this spiritual experience. One day he's on this road called the Road of Damascus. He has this spiritual experience where he gets this message from God to tell him who you've been. You're no longer going to be that person anymore. Now understand that he was a terrorist. He was a person that was terrorizing people of a certain belief system. And now he has a spiritual experience that says that he will now become the catalyst for those very people. How amazing is that? That's crazy. How can the very people that you used to terrorize and harass, now you've gotten a message that you're now going to become a leader, a catalyst, a protector for those very people? And this spiritual experience, he's struck with temporary blindness, and he can no longer physically see temporarily. But the temporary blindness was necessary so he can start to see differently in his own heart and spirit. Sometimes, in order for you to get the best picture or the realest or the most authentic picture of who you are, God's got to close your eyes so you can't see what you already know. Some of us have seen ourselves the way that we see ourselves for so long that we cannot envision ourselves at a greater dimension. Paul was struck with blindness. And while he was struck with blindness, he sat in a specific group of people, just encouraged him and was teaching him and embraced him. And I don't remember how long exactly it was that he was blind, but after he had finished being blind and he received his sight again, he was a brand new person on the inside. I'm here to tell you that the very people that are in your life and that are trying to destroy you are the very people God is using to show you a greater version of yourself. So I know that you're trying to pray your enemies away. I know you saying, God, get them. Because they're getting on my nerves. They're blowing me. I don't deserve this treatment. I don't deserve this mistreatment. I don't deserve none of this. I know you've been praying that prayer, but let me tell you something. That antagonist that is in your life is the reason why you're going to apply for the new job. It's the reason why you're finally going to start that business. It's the reason why you're finally going to write that book. It's the reason why you're going to start speaking. It's the reason why you're going to start that show. It's the reason why you're going to write that movie. It's the reason why you're going to push into a dimension things that you kept saying you were going to do for the last 15 years. You've been saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You never get started. You've been procrastinating. God knows you need an antagonist to become your catalyst for your purpose. You're being set up for greatness. Y'all do me a favor. Share this message with somebody. I love y'all. Y'all enjoy your entire week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, your Sunday. Spend time with family. Love on somebody. Tell somebody you love them while they're alive. Create moments with them. But most importantly, again, I need you guys not to be selfish. Share this message with somebody because somebody needs to know that even in the midst of difficulty and pain, they're still being set up for greatness. I love y'all. See y'all next time.